please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Captain's Log Supplemental. We've never been fans of using steroids, but we do find it amusing when a near 50-year-old 4-foot imp still uses it to promote his own brand of living, ancestral type. It is though tragic when you know they're eventually going to crash, and crash bloody hard. Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Where Are They? I'm not going to make that sound like a game show, honestly. It's Where Are They Now, folks. Yay, we're still doing this. Today we're going to be looking at the total legitness that is the Liver King. A man who has memed himself, a guy that has lied about himself, a guy I have spoken about twice. Once in December of last year, and once in the Exhibition of Stupid People this year. I want to talk about him a bit, because I find some of his escapades to be quite amusing. Not least because he couldn't commit to his life-changing decisions. He's almost like one of the dainty girls of World, who has his own cycle, except his is contingent on what enhancements to himself that he is receiving. He's not a parody. No, he just looks like a 4-foot parody, thinking that his ancestral living will somehow, I don't know, improve him. But in reality, I think it's aged him about 10 years. And based on some of the conditions and problems he has, not just for being vertically challenged, no doubt that was brought on by compressing his spine so much from all the extra weight he doesn't need to carry at his size, but also because he doesn't even cook the food he eats when he would get more out of it. Then again, why bother doing that when you can get all the other things from medications? Of course, with a physician's assistance. Yes. By the way, if you'd like to know a bit more about Liver King before I play my video, I want to show you something that tickled me to no end. I hadn't seen this before until I went to his YouTube channel, simply titled Nose to Tail Carnivore Mukbang. He does a mukbang with his wife and his 2 sons, and I'll be honest, the oldest son looks like he's in a hostage situation and doesn't want to be there, and the youngest son just doesn't want to be there, and the wife clearly sympathizes but tries to appear to be as enthusiastic as possible, while Liver King does all the talking, because it's his channel, his show, and he's the main, real main's main. And here's a clip of this now.
You guys want any of this brain, or you have enough of your own?
There's brain right here.
Alright. When you see this piece of brain, are you jealous? You want it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't have it. So how was the day? You said good, but we talked about the workout. What else did y'all do?
Hanging out on the slides a lot. And went to the pool for some time. Mm-hmm.
Good. Did you get your son?
Yeah.
Did you lift any shit?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Did you eat liver?
I was lower now.
Did you bond with each other?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what of the 9 ancestral tenets are you missing? Cold?
Yeah.
You gotta remember that this is about thermal pressures, not just getting cold, right? Thermal pressures. Did you get hot today?
I did get pretty hot running up and down the slide.
So, I'm now going to play the Liver King video that I made in December of last year, so you can understand why he got a lot of heat last year for being involved in something a bit roidy. Liver King made the news because an email leak came to light. The email itself, though, shines a rather interesting light on Liver King and his mantra, his beliefs, what he espouses, the character, and proves it all to be a massive lie. Something you all need to know though, before YouTube, Liver King was already successful. He was already wealthy. He was already in a rather good place. Liver King to an extent reminds me of Jack Murphy, another person who espouses a very alpha male lifestyle, also a fraud, because he's as beta as Fook. And it's quite amusing when you trigger him about it. Sydney Watson did a rather spectacular job of it. Liver King himself hasn't looked so good when he's made appearances on podcasts talking about his lifestyle, which now that we know about the emails, makes his appearances on those respective podcasts where he's looked a bit uncomfortable all the more interesting. Almost like the right question was asked, and he became ever so slightly squeamish. I can't help but wonder why. What is it with these Space Marine wannabes and their absolute frauds for existences? By the way, with what we're going to go through in the email, I'm going to give you a fair warning. The contents of it, when you hear about the dosages, well, somebody is drinking what can only be described charitably as unicorn's blood, effectively giving you a half-life, which seems somewhat contrary to to the very life you believe people can have if they live the life you live all clean, Mr. King. I have no doubt I'm not the only person to have pointed this out, but I have to admit, it is quite tragic when somebody builds something on a lie. Additionally, I don't think anyone for a second genuinely believed that Liver King was ever clean. No one gets a body as big as that by being clean. They really don't. We're just happy you haven't been injecting your arms with baby oil, like others in Russia, who think that making their biceps look big when the rest of their body looks like a stick insect makes them look big, tough, brave, strong, when in fact they just look like a dispenser waiting to burst. So what I'd like to do is start by reading through the email that everyone has seen, showing you some of the interesting components Liver King introduces to his remarkably clean mantra-riddled diet, where he totally doesn't cut any corner at all. And once we've gone through that, go with the fallout and how Liver King has responded to it. Because he does, which impressed me. By extension, we'll then be able to ascertain whether or not Liver King's response is a YouTube apology or an actual apology. So the email leaks are as follows. So stoked, thank you. What's a good day and time for you to have our consultation? I live in the Republic of Texas, so I am Central Standard Time. This is an absolute priority for me, so I will cancel almost anything planned to make this happen with you. Blah 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 to interview. So let's dig right in. As it relates to my goals, I am the face of several brands, including ancestral supplements, and I've just hired a team to build the Liver King brand with the goal of 1 million followers by March 2022. I am pouring ridiculous resources into making this happen, including hosting a video guy that will be living at my guest house and a film crew that will be filming 7 days a month. Stated I have to stay in great effing shape year round, maybe take 1 to 2 months off a year. There's a reason for that. For those who don't know, you cannot maintain that physique every single day, 365 days a year. Your body has to rest or you risk injury. So now you might understand why Joe Rogan has started questioning how Dwayne Johnson's managed to maintain his physique for as long as he has. I've been working out for 35 years. I know how to eat, train, rest, and recover. I even have a hard shell hyperbaric chamber at my house. But as I've reached my mid-40s, it's getting harder, and the back fat effing kills me. To support these exhaustive efforts, I've recently started taking Omnitrope, the 5.8 mg vials from Empower Pharmacy, 11k per month for my new dose, which is 4 vials a week, 16 vials a month. I don't know if this stuff is grossly underdosed or what, but I've been taking 2 vials per week, and my IGF-1 is only at 139. My doctor told me I could double it in an effort to get to the upper 200s, low 300s. She thinks I could be a hyper non-responder. I'm wondering if taking a F-load of other peptides could be confounding the results and possibly interfering with efficacy. For instance, here's what I'm currently taking. Before I even show you that list, allow me to tell you why your doctor thinks it's a good idea to double the dose. It has nothing to do with being a non-responder. No. It's because you're paying 11k a month for it, which means more money. Doctors like money in America, don't they? Yes. It really does get one's noggin jogging when they start to think, why would a doctor and a pharmacy want you to buy more of their substance when it's not showing you the results you think you deserve just yet? Interesting. I wonder if eating all that liver is how this is working. All those enzyme-producing organs you consume, maybe there's some life in them yet. Maybe they're building up your tolerance. Oh dear God. I don't know how much longer I can not laugh at you. Fun fact about Omnitrope. It is used for fertility treatment. It is a prescription medication that contains human growth hormone. So for example, children with growth failure due to growth hormone deficiency or GHD generally get prescribed this to help them. And I just want to say, you're in your mid-40s and you are so desperate to cling on to this image, this character persona, this idea that you represent, when you could, by extension, show people a graceful way of aging by showing them how to come down properly, how to go with some dignity, let's call it that. Because you've mentioned back issues, I can't imagine they're going to get any better if you push into your mid-50s and you're still carrying all of that. But it's the back fat, everyone. It's totally the back fat. and not the spinal arthritis. So the first, IGF-1LR, with Liver King indicating taking it for a year. This particular chemical is a synthetic protein and lengthened analogue of human insulin-like growth factor 1, CJC with IMAP. Now, as far as I'm aware, CJC-1295 is a synthetic analogue of growth hormone releasing hormone. If that's the same one, I'm not entirely sure. Ibutamoren, taking for 2 months. This is a potent, long-acting, orally active, selective, and non-peptide agonist of the ghrelin receptor and growth hormone. Yeah, it's more growth hormones. You guessed correctly, everyone. You already know about Omnitrope, and then you got more. You got cruise doses of Test Sip, and I don't know what that is at all. Winstrol, been taking for 3 weeks. Now, Winstrol is an androgen and anabolic steroid medication. It is used as a prophylactic to prevent the symptoms of hereditary angioedema and severity of attacks of angioedema. But it's more steroids, everyone. You really are something special, aren't you? Real king, totally. If you were an athlete, you'd have been banned for life by now. Unless you were competing for the WBC and your name was Canelo Alvarez and your meat was totally from a different vendor. Many media outlets have covered this, which is where the fallout arises. When you have built an empire on a lie, yes, people are going to pounce on it, especially when you are someone as brazen and outlandish as that of Liver King. So on Instagram he did in fact address this with the video that he had posted on YouTube. The caption read, "A real man knows when it's time to look in the mirror, to start taking full accountability for his actions. I have neglected to model 2 of the most important values I preach, honor and integrity. Today this changes, I owe you an apology." I'm not going to play the video in case of copyright claims, so I'm going to read a passage from it. "It has been tricky as fudge to navigate. Clearly I did it wrong, and I'm here now to set the record straight. Yes, I have done steroids, and yes, I am on steroids, monitored and managed by trained hormone clinicians." Further stating that he wanted to raise awareness of the high, unalived rate amongst young men who suffer from depression or low motivation. Liver King, the public figure, was an experiment to spread a message. I've been on several podcasts, and when asked if I've ever taken steroids, I've always said no. I don't touch the stuff, never gonna touch the stuff. That was a lie. Admitting that he kept denying the truth to himself and had dug himself into a deeper hole. Also admitting, I only have myself to blame. I did that and it was all wrong. I will be better. I will talk about it openly. I'm as sorry as a man can be, and all I can do is take extreme ownership right now. Be better and lead myself to a better life as a better human. Which, when compared to many other apologies, is actually quite impressive. Now yes, in the video itself, he likes to flex a little humble brag here and there. Ignoring that and focusing on what he actually said, the substance of it, it is rare to simply admit wrongdoing. You can tell he's not really a YouTuber then. Now I'm going to cite Joe Rogan to finish this, because it's a point I kind of agree with. I don't even know if there's a benefit in eating raw meat. From what I've understood talking to experts, there's actually a lot gained from cooking because the protein becomes more bioavailable. And this is something I've always wondered with Liver King, because I don't see the point in eating it raw. I really don't, other than the gimmick itself, which is how it looks, like a gimmick. The thing is, if I'm going to watch anyone eat organs, it's going to be Hannibal Lecter, because he's a classy bitch, and you're a souped-up ped bitch. Shouldn't you be standing guard over the Emperor's corpse, O mighty centurion? So yes, Liver King got busted with steroids. He got busted lying after leaked emails. How exciting. Liver King then decided on his website to spend the better part of all of this year addressing this, which did culminate in something happening in September of this year. So for the sake of what happened over the course of 12 months on his YouTube channel and on his Instagram, Liver King for the most part kept things very above board. He was very, I would say, professional, but not. He was more focused on his brand, but his views weren't that great on YouTube. YouTube, let's face it, for what he claims to be. So his website and Instagram is where he is usually found. He has been producing content at a rate of, really, 1 a month. Yeah, that's about it really. But I do think it right to show you some of the videos he has produced over the course of the year. I'm going to start with more testicles ever eaten by one person, ... Liver King versus Texas, brackets, public competition. It has 2k upvotes and 4.1k downvotes. People don't like his content much, with the top comment reading, "I feel bad for this man's sons." It's a short video. In the video though, he takes a food truck, to various locations to challenge people to up their testosterone levels, and he himself will partake in press-up challenges and shots of raw liver and raw testicles. Something about this feels weird. I'll play a clip now though.
Primals, I'm going to attempt to eat my body weight in testicles today. Most testicles ever eaten! Say hello to my testicle pig.
Tastes like balls.
Maybe you didn't taste it right. Get her another round. I can't f***ing believe it. We sold out of everything.
You didn't think I was actually going to make you suffer through all of that, did you? As if the ASMR ball eating wasn't bad enough. Yes, you're all welcome, and I'm going to keep sharing that with you for the remainder of this video. What's truly hilarious to me is that if you go to his main page, the most viewed video, most popular, isn't any of the challenges or any of his ancestral living tenet promotional content. No, it's his confession for being on steroids. There are 2 more videos I'd like to show you before we conclude this. The first is, are you a barbarian or a batch? Primals versus Liver King.
Good morning, Primals. There could be no better day to accept Liver King's 30-day challenge. Congratulations on winning the Instagram contest. I know you were probably expecting to show up to Liver King Ranch, meet the king, eat some primal fare. Nope. Not gonna be that easy.
He made it seem like a game show, and I kinda got the aspect of that. I got the point. It felt very energetic. Cringy as feck, but I understood the point. 7.4k downvotes to 1.4k upvotes. Clearly not well received. His views over the months have been diminishing for a while now, which might explain why he hasn't really uploaded much at all really. But his views just, no, not that good at all. So to be honest, for all the extra effort he's putting into this content, you would assume it's because of what he makes from his supplements, his protein bars, and his ancestral living programs, because he sure as heck isn't making it from YouTube. The next one though is quite interesting actually. It concerns a response to Moist Critical, which actually I found quite informative because he dropped the exaggerated persona, for the most part, to speak frankly. And that's quite important I think, because in this video he's addressing the accusation that he is back on steroids. Thing is, as he himself put it, he's been very open about the fact he went back on it and his reasoning for wanting to go back on it, in the manner that he has, that is. I'll play relevant clips now. But just before that, I'm going to play the clip from my EOSP where I spoke about this subject, as I think it's quite relevant to now. He has appeared of late doing shorts, comedic ones. I don't remember the channel names, I can't play them because of that. But I've also seen him claim he has changed his habits. He's turned it around and he's being more honest. Whether there is any truth to that or not, I'm not entirely sure, but I thought we'd go and look at the Essentially Sports article just for a laugh. Greg Doucette is a Canadian IFBB pro, International Federation bodybuilder, is that it? Might be wrong there. Who has taken to busting several bodybuilding myths and fitness beliefs on his own YouTube page. This particular bodybuilder has laid into Liver King, calling out the internet sensation for consistently lying and fooling the public. So the first question the article has is Greg right about Liver King? Liver King's mantra is based on the belief of ancient people relying on such methods and ancestral lifestyle of remaining healthy and maintaining fitness by eating raw animal. Many of us, myself included, point out that actually to activate some of that benefit, like liver for example, it is better to cook it. In a video titled Bull Lungs, Bull Testicles, Bull Crap, Liver King Continues to Lie, Greg explains how the YouTuber isn't telling the truth, yet despite confessing to his lies and apologizing, Greg said, "What does Liver King 2.0 look like? Well, you see it, he's literally more shredded than ever." Greg has deduced that Liver King's consistent lies utilizing his bodybuilding knowledge, and he continued by saying, and so does anyone think that Liver King is anything more than a caricature, a meme, a glorified snake oil salesman? That if you eat liver you can do this? And I do think Greg has a point. Liver King is more cut. He's not the tallest, he's about the height of a dwarf. On my server he'd be listed as a gnome, okay? He is ripped to high heaven. He has been mocked by everyone, and so this Liver King 2.0, this openness, honesty without the performance enhancements, yes, does come across as a bit disingenuous, and many bodybuilders have called it out. There are some who do strongman stuff who are pushing it a bit much with their own health. When this all happened, when Liver King got busted, he lost about 100,000 Instagram followers and 50,000 TikTok fans. He also lost a fair few subs on YouTube, but he has been clawing back at it. His style of content is shot one particular way, and I did cover this when it happened. Today we're going to start with Liver King, who I may have to do a Where Are They Now on because I didn't keep up with him over the course of this year, and he's on sort of bed rest at the moment, but he's still, living his best life. So a video was tweeted out by Mittens. He's not going to be with us much longer, ... included he's on a lounger by a very dirty looking pool having a little conversation.
What is up, my primals? I'm following all the doctor's orders. I have not left bed. This is my day bed. I'm following all the orders. I'm definitely not working out. But here's the thing. There's always 126 ways to solve for any problem. When you think your back's against the wall, when you think you have no other option, there's always 126 ways to solve, to figure it out, to progress, to evolve. I like to say this one word. I do it a lot. It's called more.
I really wish he hadn't confessed, I think in September, to being back on steroids. He's being sued to the tune of $25 million from his own followers because he's conned them. And that's what you do? Fam, I know you think, and many think, life is short, but you're nearly 50, if you're not already, that is. Accept you're getting old and move on with your life. Show people how to gracefully bow out. Head into your twilight years not trying to look like a Mr. Olympia who's not only past his prime but still begging for the attention. You're the tallest hobbit in the Shire and the most muscular one at that. But your muscles are a joke, and the only person that finds them remotely interesting is Vince McMahon. If you were a foot taller, he'd make you a star.
Can you work out from the bed? How many, or what level is that? 24? Alright, I think Thanos got to 30. Let's get me to 30. We're going to 30. What number is that? Alright, let's go ahead and crank it to 35. More. Every time I say more, let's go up by 5. More. 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 You want to know Liver King's ab routine? Number 1, they're called ab implants. And this is how you maintenance them once a year. You got to hook it up to the compartments. That's why I got 12 of these pads on me, because I got a 12 pack, But you wanted to know, here it is.
When your body looks like a bodysuit and it looks so uncomfortable to be on your body, it's time to consider removing the costume and just accepting your body for what it really is. Whether you're joking or not, you look like you're LARPing as somebody who wants to be something else. I've seen LARPers look more convincing, and at least they get to take their costume off when they're done with it. You don't. Okay, I may have forgotten that I'd actually covered Liver King also within the exhibition of stupid people earlier in the year. My apologies for playing that before the This Week at Twitter that was relevant to this whole bit here. Now I'm going to play the response to Moist Critical. Again, sorry for the 2 videos in one just then. I didn't. Or did I? I'm a bit of a dickhead. Now I have another random clip before I play the Liver King response.
We got to talk about Liver King. Do you know that our podcast was the first public forum where he was asked about doing steroids and then he got exposed for being on a load of
If you ask me, how would you describe Liver King in person? He is a sweet, sweet man.
but so smelly.
Like, if you were to die in Coney Island and your body wasn't discovered for like 13 to 17 days, that would be the smell that is secreted from his armpit.
So Moist Critical calls me out, says that I'm back on steroids, has a whole bunch of accusations. Here's what I have to say back. Moist Critical, you're late to the party. All you had to do was go to liverking.com. All of it's there, all of it. I guess here's what I'll say. I didn't lie to anybody when I went on the podcast and I started talking about my earnest commitment to go natural. So this year, starting on January 2nd, I went 220 days without any steroid, without any growth hormone, without any peptide, without anything synthetic.
Which is quite the commitment, I'll give you that. Especially when you yourself in this video show that you lost 20 pounds of weight. You looked a lot leaner. Not that I noticed it in any of your videos because of what you were doing in your videos. It made it very hard to tell. Camera angles are very important, especially when they're from like the bust up, you know, like a figurine bust. Yeah, basically his tits and his head. About it, really. You couldn't really tell in that. You'd have to be present on things like Instagram or his Facebook or his website, where he, as he stated, vlogged about this.
If you call eating a pound of fresh, raw bull testicles every single day natural, then I've been natty as for 220 days. So I was about 206 pounds in December, and then I got down to all the way down to 182. So I've lost over 20 pounds. For anybody who doesn't believe me, all you have to do is look at my social media photos. Look at it from December to now and tell me that you can't tell the difference.
But it is quite important to now know what inspired you to go back.
I'll tell you what I don't like. I don't like the idea of losing over 20 pounds of muscle. I don't like the idea that became the reality of losing a lot of strength. My 1 rep max strict press was like 255, and I couldn't even hit 205 in July. So I've decided to go back on it.
My real gripe with this is the level of authenticity from your primal living tenets thing, right, to what you want from your body. They seem to be at a fork in the road. One way is your tenets and your primal living, the other is you wanting something to have the other side as a part of a marketing ploy, right? Which is very disingenuous because you couldn't lift as much, because you weren't as strong or didn't have as much muscle mass. As if being as strong or having as much muscle mass is an indicator of your strength. Strength doesn't come just from physical, it comes from the mental. You went 200 and however many days, proving your point by eating so many balls. Congratulations, by the way. Only to then decide that that wasn't worth it, and you'd go back on the juice, but a controlled juice. A form of HRT and TRT, I believe you called it. I find this to be very much false advertising of the product you then sell, which is why when you are right, you have been putting this on your website, and others criticized you for it, they are also right, because it still means you're a fake. You are not remotely honest, truthful, or the correct representation of the lifestyle you promote. All because I don't like having less muscle, and I don't like that I couldn't do a certain thing to a certain weight. You're in your 40s. Who cares how much you can lift? Seriously. And you're below average height. So the fact you can even lift the weight you are lifting is still quite impressive. I stand by all previous comments I've made concerning your appearance, looking like a bodysuit except you can't take yours off. And when you had the chance to be a bit more authentic, you managed what? Less than 2/3 of a year? Rats? I'm starting to understand why you're in decline. And I've yet to hear any resolution on the $25 million lawsuit against you.